First, I just want to echo the concerns that were expressed by both the chairman and obviously by Senator Shaheen about our lack of full diplomatic corps at a time that we're seeing multiple continents that we have flashpoints and crisis points and the urgency of diplomacy. And I want to add to that there are still a number of positions at the State Department that are unfilled, that are necessary for national security. And perhaps to the Assistant Secretary of State, that's true, right? These are important positions when it comes to U.S. national security and should not be held up with the urgencies that we have. Would you agree?
Senator, yes, sir. I do believe it is a major hindrance to the conduct of our foreign policy not to have our full team on the field. And again, I would express my thanks to the Senate for their support in my nomination and others, but I would respectfully ask that we please move as quickly as possible on the many remaining nominations, both for our ambassadors in the field and our many positions unfilled here domestically.
I'm grateful for that. I know this has been covered a little bit, but I'd like to just ask you again. China had made a lot of statements about pursuing a peaceful rise. And it just doesn't, and like they weren't really seeking confrontation, but clearly we have seen that change, and the aggressive actions taken in Taiwanese airspace, international waterways, and more is indicative of a change in posture. And I'm wondering, this rhetoric, how much is it really, and these actions, is it in your opinion, not only belying their claims, but really reflecting a real intention? Or is this in some ways just to satisfy internal Chinese politics and sort of the wolf warrior constituency and others? Do you really think that they are looking to potentially engage in more overt conflict of a military nature?
Senator, thank you very much.
Not either of them. Yeah.
Senator, thank you very much for the question. Our focus here today is, of course, on Taiwan and the situation across the strait, but we are deeply concerned about a range of destabilizing and aggressive and coercive actions that we have seen the People's Republic of China carry out across the region and in some instances around the world. Whether it's in the maritime domain, whether it's the situation on the PRC's border with India, whether it's economic coercion that it is carried out regarding a range of countries around the world, or its increasingly aggressive and coercive activities in the South and East China Seas. We are laser focused on the threat posed by those aggressive and coercive actions, and that's what animates much of our policy. And I would just say, Senator, I think you noted at the top of your comments, whatever PRC rhetoric may say, I think we have to focus on China's actions and base our policies there. And that is why we're focused, Senator, so intently on supporting and maintaining the rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific region that we believe is under threat from the PRC. And that order, we believe, is so vital to our future security and prosperity and that of our allies. And therefore, our intention is to work closely with our many like-minded partners around the region to support that order, which is, as I said, under threat.
And I'm sorry, was there another comment? Yeah, no, I'm concerned about, in my visits to Africa, the incredible influence that the Chinese have there, and their erosion of diplomatic relations between African nations and Taiwan. They've been incredibly successful. I think it's Eswatini and Somaliland that are the last two that have maintained diplomatic relations with Taiwan. And I think this is indicative of a larger picture of Chinese influence on the continent, and in many ways undermining our position and our interests there as well. And I'm wondering, what can the U.S. government do to help reverse the erosion and encourage countries to support really our democratic principles, ideals, as well as be supportive of a larger effort to contain China's influence?
Senator, thank you. Whether it's in the context of trying to shore up international support for Taiwan or Taiwan's international space, or ensuring that countries in regions around the world, including Africa, are not subject to Chinese coercion, I think this, again, has to be and is a central focus of our policy and our efforts. And our intent is, one, to remind countries of some of the risks, for example, of taking on certain Chinese investments or incurring certain debts vis-a-vis the PRC and what those implications for a country's sovereignty may be down the line. Secondly, we need to demonstrate the benefits of partnering with the United States and other like-minded partners. And thirdly, we need to continue to highlight the importance of a rules-based order and the values that we all hold dear. And that is what we're doing, and that is what we intend to continue to do. But certainly the scope of the challenge is growing, Senator. I agree.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. I just want to reaffirm, I've been pleased to hear a bipartisan commitment to our relationships with Taiwan. I feel very strongly with that. I think what is happening there and the fear and insecurity they're creating in the country is unacceptable to such a strong partner of the United States. And I know on behalf of a lot of Taiwanese Americans that a strong American posture in support of that democracy is something that we all should be doing everything we can to support. So thank you.
Thank you. Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you, Mr.